I call to order this meeting at 5:30. Mr. Koenig, can you please take roll call? Present.
Present. Is that
Thank you. Okay. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by two students from Loya Elementary, and they are Itzel Otero and Jaime Angeles. If you guys can please lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance. Can everyone please stand?
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to item D, Spotlight. This is an opportunity to feature up to a 3-minute presentation, the positive things that are taking place throughout the district. Do we have any spotlights, Mr. Koenig?
There are no spotlights that have been reported to me.
Mr. Mercado have one?
Mr. Jimenez?
Yes. Congratulations to all our Alisal District Assistant Principals. This is the week that we celebrate the National Assistant Principal Week. We appreciate and value your dedication and hard work. Thank you.
And now move for the adoption of the agenda. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Ms. Garcia,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Gilpas. Any comments or questions? Okay, let's move on to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Mr. Ocampo being absent. Item 2, public comments concerning items on the open session agenda and/or non-agenda items. There will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There is no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda items and/or other items may do so at this time. Starting time, 5:33. And I end this at 5:33. Next, we have association comments, the Alisal Teachers Association. Thank you. California School Employees Association, Chapter 577. United Substitute Teachers Union. Okay. Moving on to item 3, presentations. A, school site presentation, or Mr. Roberto Rodriguez, Principal, Oscar Loya Elementary.
Good evening, President Mercado, Board of Trustees, Mr. Koenig, Cabinet. Again, my name is Roberto Rodriguez. I'm the school principal at Loya Elementary School. Joining me today is Ms. Kimberly McCown, our assistant principal at Loya. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share what we're doing at Loya Elementary. Again, this is my 3rd year there at Loya. Happy to be there on my 3rd year. Looking forward to a few more years at Loya, right? So we'll begin. So just a little bit of overview of our school. Again, just like all the other schools, we're a preschool to sixth grade elementary school. We have 576 students, 26 teachers, one instructional coach, one literacy coach, one counselor, one psychologist. We have 11 bilingual classes and 12 SEILC classes. You can see the breakdown there of the bilingual and the SEI classes. We also have 3 SDC classes, which are considered functional academic classes. We have a K2, a 3-4, and a 5-6 combination classes. We have our RSP caseload is of 26 students. 63.2% of our students are considered English learners, and 95.7 qualify for free reduced lunch, and we have 18% of our students are considered on-house students. And we also have 50.2% migrant students at our school. For today, we're focusing on our multi-tier system of support, how we support our students. So I broke it down in 3 different areas: academic support, behavior support, and our social emotional support. So we'll be going over those 3 different areas and how we're supporting our students in those 3 different areas at Loya. In the academic support, just like many of our other schools, we're focusing a lot on our professional learning communities, or our PLCs. So that's, our PLCs are focusing on equity and solution-based collaboration, and that to allow for student success through professional development, learning strategies. Another thing that we do through our PLCs is looking also at working collaboratively to create formative assessments, use those assessments for data review during our PLCs. We also look at the 4, focus on the 4 PLC questions, essential questions, and we also start to incorporate this year some learning walks, part of our PLCs. Our focus still continues on our English language development, or English learners. So we're still focusing on that. One of the things that we're continue doing is focusing on our English learner students. One of the things that we start incorporating when I got there is to have an idea how our students are progressing. We do a monthly STAR assessment in reading and math, and that helps us understand how our students are progressing on a monthly basis. Our calendar assessment only required us to do it at a trimester. So for us to really look at how our students are progressing and start making some changes, is we try to do it more regularly. So we do it on a monthly basis to look at how our students are progressing on a monthly basis in reading. Again, another thing to help with our students in the LPAC, which is a big area for reclassification, is supporting our students in our LPAC in practicing, right? Having for them to understand what the LPAC consists of, and our teachers in support our students with providing time during the classroom with the LPAC practice test. One of the things that we also do is to support reading, which is an area that we see our students still need support, is we started doing small group instruction, which helps differentiate that instruction at different levels in the classroom. So all the teachers have designated small group reading instruction throughout the day, and that should be happening every single day, where they meet with small group of students in the area of reading. Again, we continue with 2 of our programs, Be Glad and Storm Writing, which is programs that have been there at Loya for a while. We continue with that, learning new strategies for writing, but also supporting our ELD through the GLAD strategies. We also provide some intervention support through intervention teachers through a pull-out program, who works again with students who need additional support in ELD or reading. And again, we also give teachers the opportunity to work after school with their students who need additional support, of course. So just wanted to share, again, our focus have been ELD. I just wanted to share a little bit of our progress. I know that, our second year we didn't do as well in our ELD, but this year, happy to see, and I believe you, Dr. Hernandez, shared, all this presentation with you. So this year, we look at the graph there, we had we landed on the blue, right, which is the highest area, right, which at the states, the slide says that 79.9% of our students are making progress toward English proficiency or language proficiency. That was an increase of 62.7% from last year. So that was, I think it was the greatest percentage that our school had at the district level. So really proud of the work that our staff is doing, working, again, with our students and focusing on English learners. So really proud of the work that the staff has done this last year and continue doing this year. Just another slide with, you can see there, the purple, focusing on the purple. Those are the students who progressed at least one level. So you see last year, we only had 17.2%. If you can see this last school year, we had 81.5% of our students who were able to increase by one LP level. So that's, again, we were really proud of that growth as a school. I also included some data here, current data that we currently have. On the top, you can see the top of the LPAC. That gives us information of students that scored a 4 on the LPAC. So you can see back from 2021, we had 20 students. 2022, we had 8 students, but last year we went from 8 students to 63 students who scored a level. So that was, again, we were really proud of our number there, and hope that we continue with those same numbers this school year as well. And then just give you some information of our current data by trimester, by grade. So you can see after the grade, we have the end of the year goal, and this is specifically for reclassification purposes. So if you look at kinder, we need our kindergartens to be at DRA level 4. Currently, after the second trimester, our students are averaging at 2.8, right, as kinder group. The same thing for first grade. The goal is 10. Right now, their average is 10.7, so already above the expectation at the end of the year as an average for first grade. In DRA in second grade, our goal is 20. Right now, at the end of the second trimester, they're at 19.3, so very close to what the expectation is toward the end of the school year. And so on for all the other grade levels. So as you can see on the orange, we do have the growth. So they've all been positive growth for all the grade levels, right? So again, we're happy with the work the teachers are doing and the growth we're seeing with the students getting close to the end of the year goal for reclassification for students. Again, one of the things that we also attribute to our after-school program, also supporting our students with the academics, right? And I know this year the program was restructured, giving time for students not to focus on homework support, but also other enrichments, which our students are really enjoying, right? Our program. So besides the enrichment, students also have opportunity to get that support with their homework, right? So that's something that I know parents really appreciate, having students start working with their homework, and they get that opportunity again this school year. Other opportunities, that our students get support programs like our Saturday programs. We actually this week we start our NASA program at Aloya, right? We have the Super Saturdays, the Tech Challenges, of all the programs that are again supporting our students with the academics and enrichment at our site. Our other areas are behavior support, and I'm gonna ask Mrs. McCown to support with us, share what we're doing in the area of supporting our students in behavior.
Good evening. We are a PBIS school, and so we do pride ourselves on continually focusing on the 3 PBIS character traits with our students, which are to be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. This last year, we were excited to be awarded the California PBIS Bronze Implementation Award, and we are currently in the process of reapplying for the PBIS Recognition Award for this year. To support our PBIS program, we have the 3 tiers of supports. Tier 1 is mainly focused in the classroom. That encompasses teachers providing social emotional support in the classroom, in addition to instruction for the implementation of the 3 character traits, as well as earning Lion Bucks, which can, after 100, turn into debit cards. That then allows the students to attend every 2 weeks. We have our PBIS store in which they can spend those Lion Bucks. They also attend monthly events. One example here is in January, we had a dance party. We've also had, last December, we had a movie night as well. Our Tier 2 supports for PBIS go a little bit more into the social emotional support. Those supports are provided by our school counselor. We have the cost referral program that allows us to not only refer the students to Tier 2 support through our counselor, but we also have the Sticks and Stones program that supports as well. We do have, I believe, 28 referrals this year to the AFRC department, and they've been very successful with supporting our parents and our families. For Tier 3 support, we have our part of our cost referral does include referrals to our social worker, MCBH, which is the Monterey County Behavioral Health, referrals to Sticks and Stones, which is part of the Harmony at Home program, and referrals to our Effective School Solutions, which we have a therapist full-time 5 days a week on our campus. We do have the referral service providers there, and that link will also we've shared that with our staff so that they are able to have an idea of what every single service provider does at our school, and provides contact information as well as a picture so that they can put a name to it. We have our PBIS behavior matrix, our PBIS Tier 1 committee, as well as our PBIS Tier 2 and 3 committees. Worked really hard last year to revise that and bring it up to date and make it really relevant for our students at our school site. These are posted in the classrooms and reviewed regularly by our staff. There's an example of our PBIS monthly events. Again, last December, we had a movie night, and we've also had a Decorate the Turkey in November of last year. And that brings us to our social emotional supports. Keep going. Okay. Our social emotional learning component is very strong at Dr. Oscar F. Loya Elementary. Again, here's a list of all of our service providers. Our counselor is on campus full-time, able to support in the moment for our students with either their social emotional needs and sometimes for their behavioral needs. Sticks and Stones focuses on students that have been impacted by trauma. Our Effective School Solutions therapist takes the top 10 students, but actually her caseload's at, I believe, 13 right now. And so she's been very successful at working with our students. Our students that are with the ESS program have made great progress. Our Monterey County Behavioral Health, our social worker, and our Alisal Family Resource Center round out our social emotional support that we provide for our students. We have an emphasis on restorative practices. I know the district is moving to focus on that so that we can support our students with righting their wrongs and really giving back to their community and embracing their community as well as being embraced by the community. We have a lot of different strategies that we use with the students to really make them feel like even though they make a mistake, they can repair that mistake and still be successful with our school. We have the Alevo staff that come for our recess time, and they've been very, very instrumental in working with the students to build relationships and especially with our shy students, getting them more involved and engaged and making friends. Our counselor does provide the SEL classroom presentations. And this year we started with the attendance incentives. We do the attendance awards, as well as we started with the trimester awards for the kids with perfect attendance. We've been able to hire the Easy Peasy video game truck, and the kids really are enjoying that. And as well, we do celebrate our Students of the Month.
Question.
Any questions? Thank you.
Starting from my left, Ms. Gilpas, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. God, you needed like another half hour to tell us everything that's going on at your school. I know you told us the highlights, and congratulations. I mean, your smile from here to here tells us that everything is going well there. Congratulations. Congratulations on the ELD students. 80% just about of students making progress towards proficiency in the English language. That's awesome. That's to be congratulated. So thank you very much. I have two brief questions, if I may. It says here under the social emotional learning that the on-site tiered supports have been exhausted for the social worker. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? What does that mean? It's on the slide where it says social emotional learning. Second to the last bullet.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes. So that's our ESS therapist. She provides our tier 3 support for our students. They are referred to that tier 3 when all tier 1 and tier 2 supports have been exhausted.
Oh, okay. I thought the support for the students had been exhausted, and I'm saying, what? I didn't get it.
It's moving them
Okay,
and
all
gradually
right.
giving them more
Thank
support.
you for explaining that. That's great. That's really good. And then also, I just had one more question on the unhoused students. I think it was 18% on there. That's what, about 10, 11 students? So I know under the McKinney-Vento Act, very specific as identifying unhoused students. So there's different, I mean, you could be living with the family or a lot of, things. But I was wondering, do we have any students that are like 100% out in the street or sleeping in cars or things like, nothing like that? Okay, so our unhoused are, have a roof over their head, but they don't have their own.
I think, no, not, luckily not. Most of our students, I think, are either doubled up, which,
Okay.
consider to do that. I think, we have multiple families living together. But,
Yeah,
at least that we know of, we haven't, come across people who's actually.
that's great. And
Yeah.
and the way you identify the unhoused is when they register?
Yes,
Uh-huh, okay, and then there's a questionnaire, I think,
exactly.
that they ask, and then there's those that won't
Yeah.
tell us that they are that, so who is it that does the follow-up on the unhoused? And then what do we offer?
So when we do identify students, that's where we can do a referral to our AFRC,
Oh.
and then they can support with, any, whatever support they might need to do that. So we'll
And they do
follow
a
up with-
great job, I know,
Yes.
in following up on that. Thank you, well, congratulations, it's
Thank you.
happening at Loya with
you.
the Loya Lions, huh? I thought maybe you would be dressed as a lion today, Mr. Rodriguez.
We actually
Or
have
bring
a
your lion, or
next time,
your lion cheerleaders.
right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you.
nice to meet your students too with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Mr. Campo?
I came in a little late. I don't know, did you address like how students were doing in other subject areas like math and science? Did I miss that or?
No, we didn't, I didn't. I wanted to focus on our, more of the reading in ELD, because that was an area of growth that we wanted to focus on this last school year, because as, our scores weren't very positive the first year. So I wanted to focus on the progress we've made on that area, and continue making. So, I just wanted to focus on that area.
Okay, well, maybe at another time we can get that
Sure.
information, because you do seem to have a good grasp of use of data. because your presentation is, you know, excellent, I think. And I do want to congratulate you on the good work done on the LPAC. You know, it's very impressive. You know, it's good to see. And I just also wanted to make another short comment on the relationship building that you're doing during recess. I think is so important, because I think it's those relationships that students develop with teachers and classified and administrators that really help students, you know, progress. So I was glad to see that relationship building. I hope other schools are doing it. They should be doing it, because it's important. You know, it's all about, you know, relationships, good study habits, and those are the things that I think, you know, help our students do better. So just those few comments. Thank you for the presentation.
Mrs. Garcia?
Okay, so thank you for the presentation. I did attend the learning walks that we did at Loya, so I was very taken aback that they do. You can tell that there's a lot of collaboration going on in the classrooms, because I mean, from grade level to grade level, you could see just about, it's almost like a duplicate of what they're doing. So that it's good to see that, because it's hard to get teachers to agree on things sometimes. So thank you for that. I do have a couple of questions. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the reading intervention program that you have on there? You added it under academic support, and can you just briefly tell me what does your intervention look like?
So again, one of the things that, you know, we noticed with reading, I mentioned earlier, is that to support our students at their level, our teachers have designated some time for small group reading instruction, right? It can be using guided reading for our younger students, or, you know, just level reading for our older students. Looking at students, it's difficult to teach reading whole class, right? So in order to differentiate and really teach the students at their level, we have to do small group. So that's something that we implemented, started last year, and again, continuing this year. We're making time for teachers to really work with students at a small group to really provide them with that specific support they need, right? So that's the intervention that teachers are doing in their classrooms. Outside of that, I mentioned we do have two intervention teachers that do a pull-up program that work closely with their grade levels to make sure that they're identifying the students that need support and what support they need to address the reading in that area. And then again, we offer opportunities for students to work after school, and additionally with their own students to do that as well. And we do have a handful of teachers who are working with the students.
That's wonderful. And just one more question. How do you assess the STORM writing program? How is that? I mean, how do you know that thing's working? I know we see it all over the place in different slides, but we're not quite sure how do you assess the success of that program?
So again, through the STORM, they have what they call the on-demand assessments, right?
Okay.
So every so often, students get on demand. And again, we use a rubric, right? A writing rich see growth. And then again, at every end of trimester, there's a writing test that we provide. But before that, we have our own on-demand assessment where we're kind of gauging the students' progress so we can make any changes. But we do use a regular rubric, SPAC rubric, to determine the progress of the students, how they're doing in writing.
Wonderful. So congratulations on that ELD, because yeah, it's nice to see
Yes.
blue.
Yes.
Thank you. Go Lions, huh?
Thank you.
Mr. Jimenez?
Just, I want to say thank you for your presentation. And then I want to say to you guys that I'm very proud to be a Lion partner.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Thank you for those questions and comments, colleagues. I do have a few comments and questions myself. Give me 1 minute, I wrote them down. If we look at the English language development, it's in blue. What do you attribute, what strategies, how do you attribute making a long jump to going to the blue? Like why have we done differently, maybe?
I think one of the, like I mentioned earlier, the small group, we started doing this last year, right? But I think it's just a collaboration that's going on at Loya. We do have a great staff at Loya that really comes together and really looks for the best interest of the students. I think after that year that we didn't do that great, I think it was a lot of staff took it personal, like we did as well, right? So it showed that, that we really focused a lot on the reading piece, and really focusing on making sure that we're supporting our students at their level. And by providing that intervention, the small group intervention, I think that was the big difference, right? Providing that support at their level. And I think that was one of the biggest areas that I saw growth, but most importantly, the teachers coming together and collaborating, really looking at how best support our students.
That's great, hearing that staff is able to collaborate and work together and have the vision of small groups so you can deliver that more effective instruction. My next question is, you mentioned restorative practices. Who's the person, that helps with that? Is that our school counselor, or is that an outside agency that is helping with restorative practices?
Yes. Thank you. So both our school counselor, Timothy Miguel, and myself have attended restorative practice training. So we do meet and discuss different strategies for different kids, and we are in the beginning stages of implementing that at our school site. But with the training that we have received so far, we've already started to implement.
Great. Well, thank you for your presentation. I share the sentiments of this entire board. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Our next presentation is a department presentation. Mr. Alberto Jaramillo, Director of Special Education.
Good evening, Board President Mercado, Superintendent Koenig, board members, and cabinet members. Thank you for having me here today. I'm Alberto Jaramillo, Director of Special Education for the Alsa Union School District. Here with me, I do have Ms. Sawat Reyes, which is the program manager for the program. And I have Ms. Michelle Lynch, who is also one of our program managers. Not here with me today is, or with us here today is Ms. Dorianne Owens, which is also a program manager, Natalie Ramirez, and Erica Carrillo, which are behavior analysts for the district. So they weren't able to make it today. With today's presentation, I just want to give you a brief overview of the special education program for the Alsa Union School District. Let's see, Clemente, how do I? Oh, okay. All right, so I'll be going over a little bit of the background, current program, and the future that we have for the program. In terms of students that we have served over the last 6 years or 5 years, counting this year, you can see that the district enrollment has decreased over time, and ours as special education has fluctuated a little bit, but has stayed a little high. Currently, as of yesterday or today, we had 1,052 students that were in special education. We had, of those 1,052, 239 are in an SCC class. We have 57 students in an MCOE program. We have 878 that are receiving speech. And then we have 70 students that are in an SCC preschool program. And over time, I mean, I think the only dip that we had was when we had the pandemic, where we had students that, for one reason, we know the reason, but for one reason or another, the parents did not have them attend our program during that time. In terms of the funding, as you can see, from 2021 to now, I mean, the funding has increased almost $10 million. We do have federal funding, state funding, and then contributions by the district in terms of the funding that we have for our program. Total students that we have, that would be the AUSD students plus the MCOE, we have 1,101 students. We have a total of 27 classes for SDC, which is mild, moderate to severe, where we serve 272 students, including the preschool program. The classes are currently at 11 sites. The one site that does not have anyone or a classroom is Montebello. Resources classes, we have 13 sites, which includes AVA, where we serve 273 students. For speech and language, as mentioned earlier, we have 878 students. We have 24 students that are deaf and hard of hearing here at the district, and we have 6 that are visually impaired. One-on-one aids or behavior techs, we have 27 students, 27 BTs that serve 26 students. We're still short a few, but again, we use substitutes to be able to supplant the services that they need. We have OT services for our students where we serve 354 students. We have APE for 8 students, and those are provided by MCOE staff. Physical therapy for 16 students, again, by MCOE staff. We have 2 students that receive assistive technology. Nurses attend IEPs to determine whether a student needs a health aid for the student. County of Monterey mental health clinicians, we have 2 that serve SPED, and then for some of them, the rest of them are used for general ed. And transportation is provided by our own services here at AUSD for our own students for both Alisal District and MCOE. We do provide quality programs in our SCC programs. We currently have 5 programs here at the district. We have general academics, mild moderate, at Barden, Chavez, and VRB. We have communication social skills program at mild moderate at Creekside, Steinbeck, and VRB. We have our communication social skills moderate severe, which is served at MLK and Sanchez. Functional academics, moderate severe at Oscar Loya. Life skills, moderate severe at Fremont. And then the programs are consistent, flexible programs across the spectrum of special education needs. Then the provide services as close as possible to student residents. So we try to not necessarily avoid, but try to keep our students here instead of referring them over to MCOE for services there. So we try as hard as we can to provide the services here. If we see that we cannot do that, then we provide the service or refer them over to the county. MCOE currently has 57 students. They're more, it's moderate to severe, but more on the severe spectrum where we can't provide the services for our students. They do provide speech services, 46 of them. And then there are 3 students that are deaf and hard of hearing at the county level. We have 7 students that are visually impaired, 5 students in the preschool program. There are 17 students in the infant program. And then 10 of the students require a one-to-one aid there with them. We have 44 students that receive OT or occupational therapy. 3 of them receive adapted physical education. 24 of them receive physical therapy, and then we don't have any that receive assistive technology at the moment. In terms of actions in progress, we currently have 3 program managers for special education. Each one of them oversees 4 sites, and each one of them oversees at least one of our programs. For example, Ms. Sawat Reyes has 4 sites where she oversees the communication social skills moderate program. Ms. Michelle Lynch, she oversees the communication social skills moderate severe, the functional academics moderate severe, and life skills moderate severe for the 3 programs that she sees or oversees. And Ms. Dorian Owens oversees the general academics program at the different sites. We do have 2 behavior analysts who supervise the behavior technicians and provide behavior support for our students here at the district. We also have 3 preschool classes, 1 at Barden, 2 at Alisal Community, and then on January 2025, we're looking at having 2 of our preschool SCC programs move over to Buckhorn once it opens up at that time. We do offer professional development, either within the district or outside, for our special education administrators, SAT administrators, special education staff, which include RSP, SEC teachers, gen ed teachers, speech and language pathologists, psychologists, paraeducators, and behavior technicians. Some of the professional development that we provide, we do have, allow them to attend AXA, the Special Education Academy, which is typically for administrators. We have the Every Child Counts Symposium that is held by AXA. We have CASHA, which is, sorry, I didn't spell it out, but it's California Speech and Language Hearing Association. And then we have the California Association of School Psychologists, which is CASP. We also work with Lozano Smith and attend their workshops. We attend F3 Law Symposium workshops. And then we also attend the SELPA trainings that we provide, or we have them come here and provide specific trainings for our staff. There's also professional development for our site clerks, sped clerks, and we also provide parent workshops, which are being held by Ms. Michelle Lynch, where we've done 2 of them so far, and then we have another one coming up this month, I think in 2 weeks. In terms of the future, I mean, it is one of the things where we do want to provide services for our students here. We did bring back the Life Skills Program, which is currently at Fremont Elementary. We recently brought back the Autism or Communication Social Skills Program that is currently at MLK and Sanchez Elementary. And we're looking forward to bringing back the Therapeutic Intervention Program from the county for the 25-26 school year. We're always seeking to hire our own staff and occupational therapists, hire qualified teachers for all of our positions, and of course, move the 2 of the programs, the preschool programs, over to Buckhorn in January 2025. And then, of course, as you saw over time, the contributions to the special ed program continue to increase, so we'll probably be seeing that continuing as well. That concludes the presentation. I don't know if you have questions for me.
I'll start from my right. Mr. Jimenez, any questions or comments?
No questions. Then thank you for your, for the whole information that we have today.
Yeah, thank you.
Mrs. Garcia?
Thank you so much for the presentation. Very informative. Okay, so I have a couple of questions. So who is the LEA rep in the IEP at the site? I know, okay, so every single site except Montebello has an SDC class. That's a whole lot of IEPs.
Yes.
Who's the LEA rep in?
So the LEA representative is, and which is the local agents, educational agency representative, which has to be a site administrator or an administrator. It is typically the principal or the assistant principal.
Okay, thank you. That helps me because I was writing down my questions and then you kept answering them as I went along, because you do provide professional development for those site administrators,
Yes.
especially the new ones. I mean, if you're, they're coming out of a classroom where they're coming out of certain other places, they really do need onboarding with IEPs, because those are definitely hard things to work with, because they're law bound.
Yes.
And so they really do need all that, good information and training. But in your presentation, you did say you provided professional development for those site administrators.
Yes.
And they're required to be the LEA reps right there at those IEPs, correct?
Correct.
And just in case they're not available, they make arrangements to have somebody else come in.
Yeah, so typically it will be the program managers or myself that will take that spot, or on occasion, maybe a director here and there.
Very good. Then I have another question. Okay, so we do offer spring and after-school programs and summer programs for all our students.
Mhm.
So our SPED kids that are in special day classes, they too are invited to those spring and summer
Correct.
programs, right?
Correct.
And so, are you then offering a SPED class or self-contained SPED class, or are you mainstreaming the students?
So they are being mainstreamed. I have worked closely with Mr. Fausto
Okay.
in terms of to meet the needs of the student. Typically, we do hold an IEP for the student to determine whether or not it's appropriate for the student to attend the program during the IEP. Of course, we try, not necessarily that we try to discourage it, but if we feel that the student cannot last an hour, 2 hours, or maybe not attend the full day, then we have that discussion and see what we can or can't do. If the student has supports during the regular day, those supports follow them in the after-school program or in the intervention program that we have during the sessions.
Mhm.
So if they have a behavior tech, for example, that behavior tech would follow that student in the, for example, Easter break that we just had, spring break, we had classes during that time, so there was somebody there for each of the students. The other part that we encourage Mr. Fausto and our own teachers is that they hire special ed teachers so that they can provide supports there as well. So it is a conversation that him and I have in terms of the students that are coming on to the program, and then how we can best support them as well.
Well, thank you for doing that up front because I do notice that, okay, so like you have one-on-ones for several of your students, but that doesn't account for everybody in the special day class. And let's just say Jesus is in a special day but does not have a one-on-one, but he wants to come to summer program. How,
So-
how are you going to support if you
so
don't
what-
have a special day class at the summer program?
So what Mr. Fausto has done is he has allocated, well, not necessarily allocated funding, but he has hired, he hires behavior techs, he hires paraeducators, twos and fours, to
Okay.
be able to provide that support for the students. So he has them available for the students at all times. So it's something where they do review the IEPs to see what the needs of the students are, and then they try to provide that support as much as possible while they're there attending the program.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Mr. Ocampo?
Thank you for the presentation. I was curious, I was noticing that looks like the only numbers that have increased are the SDC students, looks like. in terms of-
The which ones?
The SDC students, they look like they're the only guys that have actually increased. Why is that? Are we getting better at identifying them, or are they just, are they just in larger numbers in the society in general? What do you think?
So in terms of the SEC programs, as I mentioned earlier, we did bring back 2 programs from the county, which was the Life Skills Program and the Autism Program that we have. So that in itself is going to add students. So for example, the CSS program right now has 36 students attending that program right now for 4 classes. And we have about 42 or 43 that are currently attending for the functional academic, or sorry, the life skills is actually 19 students. So those are students that would typically have gone to the county that are now here with us. And then throughout the school year, students are being identified by the sites. So we do have change of placements that occur throughout the year. So we may start off with about 210, 215 kids at the start of the year, but because we have the change of placements, moving either from RSP over to STC or from a gen ed class where they initially qualify and they feel that they need the services, they'll be placed in the STC class.
Okay. And are there any SDC students who take classes in the general population? Is there any
So-
group of SDC that might go to the general population?
So in this case, it would be the general education program or the classes. So we do have students that mainstream into that class, and it's a student by student basis in that the SEC teacher looks at the goals for the student, what it is that they're capable of doing. Are they able to do math? Are they able to do language arts? Are they able to function in social studies or whatever it may be? So we try to look at the area that they're strong in, and we mainstream them in that area for one. And then we limit the amount of minutes that they go in there. They can go in there for 30 minutes, 1 hour, depending on how capable they are. The other thing is that in the minutes that they have, the recess, the lunchtime is part of mainstreaming as well. So when they're outside playing with the other students, when they're out there eating with the other students, that's part of the mainstreaming minutes that they have. Typically, a student gets about 1,500 minutes a week. We provide services, and 1,500 of those minutes I believe it includes the gen ed mainstreaming as well. And then again, student by student, it depends on what they're capable of doing they get mainstreamed into a general education class.
Now, resource students, they're in the mainstream the whole day?
Well, they're in a gen ed class. They're a gen ed student that needs supports. So what ends up happening, they get pulled, depending on, again, the needs of the student, whether it's math, language arts, writing, reading, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Depending on the need of the student, they determine the amount of time that they need. I mean, I've seen kids that get 150 minutes a week up to the max, which I believe is about, it's 49% of the day, which is around 500 minutes or 700 minutes, something like that.
So for resource students, it's a
Yes.
pullout,
Yeah.
program.
So
basically.
they do come to the resource
Okay.
teacher.
Yeah, sometimes I have, because I worked in high school for 40 years, sometimes I have trouble conceptualizing,
Yeah.
Elementary, high school.
It-
So, yeah, it's different. It's like in the high school, resource students always had one period of
Yeah,
resource,
so
and
the-
the rest was general ed. But in elementary, are they with the same teacher the entire day, or they
So,
are? They
yes,
don't,
well, in K through, or TK through sixth grade, it's self-contained classroom for both our STC and general ed students.
they do have
so-
one teacher the whole
Yeah,
day?
just the one teacher all day.
So if they have an excellent teacher, they're in God's heaven. If they have a horrible teacher there, well, anyway, we
Yeah,
won't get into
But
that.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I did work in at a middle school where basically what you stated right now, the students are in a one period. And the student goes there for support, as you mentioned. With us, we have the RSP teachers communicate with the teachers, make sure that the accommodations are being met in the class, make sure that the areas of support or areas of focus are being met, both in the classroom and in the RSP room as well.
So an SDC student would be with a special ed teacher all day long?
All day.
Life,
but it-
life skills also,
Yes,
all day long?
Yeah.
Okay, and unless maybe there could be
the
mainstream.
mainstreaming.
The other question I had was I'm assuming we continue to have a shortage of fully credentialed SPED teachers. I'm assuming, right? That's still the situation, right?
One more time?
I'm assuming that we continue to have a shortage of fully credentialed SPED teachers.
Correct.
I'm
I mean,
assuming.
Unfortunately, right now, we are at 4 teachers.
What are we doing to attempt to mitigate that, or how are we dealing with that, or how? Subs, is that what
So-
we're doing, or? Sorry?
For that, I mean, I am working with HR to make sure that we hire staff. I mean, now we're getting ready for the next school year. But now, luckily, the state allowed us to have a teacher or a substitute teacher in an STC class for 60 days, which allows us to have at least some sort of continuum for the students while they're there. But throughout the year, they're going to end up having at least 3 substitutes. What has helped is the fact that we now have Ms. Hernandez and Ms. Carpio, which are special education coaches supporting the special ed classes that are short on teachers.
Right, so when we hire a sub, is that sub credentialed in special ed, or is that sub credentialed in general education?
When they're hired there, they're basically get a permit to be able to provide the services in that class. They're not a special education teacher. They do not have a special education credential, but the state allows them to be able to provide the services there. And we support that again by using our TOSAs, our special ed TOSAs, and our special education coaches as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mrs. Gilpin?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jaramillo. Very informational. You have a big job. You have a really big job. You're dealing with special ed, special students. There's a reason why it's called special, and I think that it takes a person with a heart that wants to serve this special group of students.
Yes.
In the past, this district, I know, has looked for directors of SPED who have credentials and so forth. And when you got the job, you had the heart for it. You wanted to work with these students and with that population. And thank you for that, because I think that's the first thing that qualifies a person to be successful in that position. So we really appreciate that. I do have one question. I have two questions. The first one is related to the translation of the IEPs. I know there was a time that the department asked for support because we were so backlogged with
Mm.
that. How's that going now?
I mean, we still have a backlog of translations that we have going on. What we are, I mean, we do have two full-time translation clerks that are working and they continuously work on translating the IEPs. But we're also having or hiring staff during the breaks. So during Thanksgiving break, during the winter break, and now during the Easter break or spring break, we hired staff to be able to provide support and do some of the help translate some of the IEPs. And then for the summer, I'm going to be doing the same. I do post for 5 translator clerks for each of the sections, but again, it really depends on who applies and how many we're able to get. Unfortunately, this time around, we were only able to get one person, but still, they were able to support and help us out with translating the IEPs. But
We're
again,
not
it
that
is,
backlogged anymore. like
yes, I
before.
mean, it is still there and it is growing.
Mhm. Well, hopefully we can hire the people to support you in that. And so, my next question, I hope you're okay with it. And I'm conscious of the fact that your supervisors are in the room, so you may not feel comfortable. And I'm not one of them. I'm not referring to the board. But you know who I'm referring to. So I don't want to cause you any discomfort. But you know, it's not every day that you have the whole board in front of you.
Yes.
You know, saying thank you for your work and so forth. So my question is, what is it that you would like the board to know? Maybe about support you may need. Again, I know that there's a protocol. You let Mrs. Anzo and Mr. Koenig know. But again, we're transparent here and we are a team. We're a team with Mrs. Anzo and we're a team with Mr. Koenig. You know, so if you feel comfortable answering that, if you want to say you pass, that's fine too. But how can we support you? I know you need support in that department. It's a difficult department. What would you like the board to know? Because I want to know what you
I
want.
think I mean, like I said, one of the things is we are working towards hiring staff for the following school year. Right now, tentatively, I think we only have 3 positions that we need to fill. When it comes to hiring staff, I mean, I know that we have our local uh, job fairs that we go to, but I think also going out to other job fairs at colleges uh, where we have STC teachers. We have just the opportunity to be going a little bit further out than just here. And I think this would be something that would work with Mr. Duran to be able to make sure that we do have that happen. In terms of other areas, I mean, not that there's a whole lot to mention, but I think just getting the support in the programs that we have and being able, how could I put it, to just basically support the program. I mean, it is a lot. It doesn't just take us. I mean, the 3 people that you see here and the 5 of us. I think the biggest thing is that it also goes back to the school site and making sure that the school sites are implementing and following through with the education of our students. Because again, they are LSL students. They do belong to each of the sites. And we want to make sure that they're treated as such, but then also that we don't discount them and make sure that they are included in everything that we do. And they get the support that they need to be able to be successful. I mean, and what I mean by that is not only for our students, but for our staff as well, that the staff be included. I know that we have substitutes here with us, but again, being able to train them and show them what they're able to do with our students. But then at the same time, making sure that we're following through with everything. I mean, I think the question with the LEA, not waiting, for example, not waiting until the last minute to say, you know what, I need you to cover for me, but letting us know ahead of time to be able to do that, to be able to, in terms of the curriculum, making sure that our students are following, our teachers are following that curriculum as well, that everybody else is following as well. So it's more that than anything else. I'm sure I have other things, but I can't remember them at the moment. But I think just making sure that we are working as a team, and that we support each other, when working with our students. Because as you mentioned, I mean, it is the students that we're here for, and those, they are the ones that we have to focus on, and making sure that their needs are being met.
I appreciate your answer very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaramillo. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, we move on to item 4, board members slash superintendent reports. I will kindly ask if we can keep our comments brief, as we have many items to discuss in closed session. I will start from my right, Mr. Jimenez. Mrs. Garcia,
Nothing to report.
Mr. Ocampo.
It will be brief. Well, my wife and I, we attended the groundbreaking ceremony on 28th of March for the Alisal, the second phase of the building. And it was really fantastic. It was great. And Senor Jimenez was there. Y la señora también Aguilpas was there. And, you know, I mean, we all know what the changes are there that are in the second phase. I won't mention them because we all know what they are, right? But the one thing I did want to mention was how I was struck with you know, what happened back in 2016 when this district and the community came together as a team, as a family, to pass Measure M. I was really struck by, I think there were 2 speakers that spoke about the experience. And I was just amazed, quite frankly, you know, how this whole district, you know, the Alisal family, you know, came together to work on that measure. We had the superintendent, we had principals, we had parents, teachers, we had community members, we had board members. I mean, everybody was together working. And today, you know, I hear, you know, Roberto Rodriguez telling me that they're doing well because there's real collaboration with teachers. And I hear Senor Jaramillo saying that they work as a team. And so I just wanted to just kind of communicate that I am, you know, very proud to be considered part of this family, because I think this family, when it comes together, has done and will continue to do, you know, good things. And I'm sure that in the future, we're going to have obstacles, and we are going to have them. There's no question about that, whether they're financial. But, you know, as long as the Alisal family can stick together, we can do anything. We can accomplish anything. So I just wanted to get that kind of sentiment out and tell everybody how I walked away from that groundbreaking ceremony just really proud. You know, hey, me too. I'm part of the Alisal people too. Anyway, that was just my, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. I just wanted to express that.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Mrs. Gilpes. Mr. Koenig.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5, consent agenda. I need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Oh, that was fast. Motion by Ms. Garcia and seconded by Mr. Jimenez. Any comments or questions at this point? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 6, business services, action item, resolution number 2324-20, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exceptions for the Bardeen Elementary School new relocatable classroom projects. I need a motion.
Make a second.
Motion made by Ms. Gilpa, seconded by Mr. Jimenez. Any comments or questions?
Just one comment. I was looking at the map exactly where they're placed. These are the portable classrooms that are coming in for the after-school program, right?
Yes.
Please tell me. 'Cause they're not, yeah, and I was just making sure that they're close by restrooms and also lighting. That was my big one. And I don't know how I could see that from the map. So that was just my concerns. Because I mean, right now it's beautiful and everything. Summer's great, but come around fall, it gets really dark on campuses. And, you know, I just would like to see if that, wherever that portable is going to be placed, that it's close by, some lighting and restrooms. I think I mentioned the restroom piece a while back. But that's just my comment. I'm not sure if I can see that on the map. I thought I could see the restrooms, but not so much the lighting. That was my concern too. But that's my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. If you can take a note of that, Mr. Koenig? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Moving forward, I have a motion made by Ms. Gilpas and seconded by Mr. Jimenez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Action item, resolution number 2324-21, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exemptions for the Cesar Chavez Elementary School, new relocatable classroom projects. I need a motion.
I'll make motion.
Motion by Ms. Garcia,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Jimenez. Comments or questions? Okay. I'll call for the vote now. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. C, action item, resolution number 2324-22, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exceptions for the Creekside Elementary School, new relocatable classroom projects. I need a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Garcia, seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Did I get that correct? Did I get that correct? Because I think, okay. Okay. Does that make? Okay. All right, thank you. Comments or questions? I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. D, resolution number 2324-23, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exception for the Frank Paul Elementary School, new relocatable classroom. Need a motion?
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Ocampo, seconded by Mr. Jimenez. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Item E, resolution number 2324-24, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exemption for the Virginia Rocket Barton School new portable classroom and staff restroom project. I need a motion.
A motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Jimenez and a second by Mr. Ocampo. Any comments or questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. F, resolution number 2324-25, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exemption for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy relocatable classrooms project. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Garcia, seconded by Mr. Ocampo. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed? Motion carries 5-0. G, resolution number 2324-26, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exemption for the Montevilla Elementary School new relocatable classrooms project. I need a motion.
I'll make motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Garcia, seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. H, resolution number 2320, bless you. Resolution number 2324-27, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, categorical exemption for the Dr. Oscar F. Loya Elementary School new relocatable classroom project. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Jimenez, seconded by Ms. Gilpas. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 7, educational services. This is an informational report, the Quarterly Williams Uniform Complaint Report for the months of January, February, and March. No complaints were filed with any school in the district during the quarter. Moving on to item 8, human resources. Action item, initial sunshine proposal for the LSI Union School District to the Californian School Employees Association, CSEA, Chapter 577 for the 23-24 school year. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Jimenez. Seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Comments, questions? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. B, job description, second reading and adoption of the Secretary 2/Information Specialist 3. I need a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Gilpas, seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Any comments or questions? Okay, I'll call for the vote now. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2024-2025 school year. Need a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Ocampo, seconded by Ms. Garcia. Any comments or questions? Okay. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Resolution number 23-24-29, classified employees as appreciation week. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Jimenez and seconded by Ms. Gilpas. Any comments or questions at this point? Mrs. Gilpas?
I was wondering if I could ask would be the pleasure of the president that we read that resolution? It's not too long.
I actually was thinking ahead, and I have that ready to be read. Yes.
Thank you.
Good comments, Gilpas. Would you like to read it, or would you prefer me to read it? Okay. Classified Employee Appreciation Week, Resolution number 23-24-29. Whereas the education of youth is essential to the future of our community, state, country, and world. And whereas classified employees are the backbone of our public education system, and whereas classified employees work directly with students, educators, parents, volunteers, business partners, and community members. And whereas classified employees support the smooth operations of offices, the safety and maintenance of buildings and property, and the safe transportation of healthy nutrition and direct instruction of students. And whereas our community depends upon the trust classified employees to serve students, and whereas classified employees with their diverse talents and true dedication nurture students throughout their school years. Now, therefore be it resolved that the LSI Union School District Board of Trustees proclaim May 19th through May 25th, 2024 to be Classified Employee Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the LSI Union School District Board of Trustees strongly encourages all members of our community to join in this observance, recognizing the dedication and hard work of these individuals. So I do have a motion made by Mr. Jimenez and seconded by Ms. Gilpas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Motion carries 5-0. Next. Excuse me. Resolution Number 2324-30, Teacher Appreciation Week. May I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Jimenez,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Garcia. Before I move in for the vote, I'll also read our board resolution for Teacher Appreciation Week. This is for resolution number 2324-30. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the LSL Union School District Board of Trustees proclaim May 6th through 10th, 2024 to be Teacher Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the LSL Union Board of Trustees strongly encourages all members of our community to join with it, personally expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work. So I do have a motion made by Mr. Jimenez and seconded by Ms. Garcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to number 9, Administrative Services, action item. The National Association of Latino Elected Officials, NALEO 41st Annual Conference attendees, Board of Trustees. I need a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Gilpas, seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Comments or questions? I'll move for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Action item B, resolution number 2324-28, adopting a conflict of interest code. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Jimenez,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Questions or comments? Okay, moving on to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Action item number 10, we have our future agenda items to view at your pleasure. We also have item 11, our future meeting dates. Moving on to number 12, public comments. Closed session agenda items only. Guidelines, there will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There is no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on closed session agenda items may do so at this time. Starting time, 6:48. And I end this at 6:48. And now I adjourn to closed session at 6:49. There will be a 10-minute break. Closed session will begin promptly at 6. Let's run up at 7. Thank you.